Hello, hi. Welcome, everybody, to the official Wednesday stream. Hello, hello, hello. Hope everybody is having a beautiful, lovely day today. Happy International Coming Out Day. I believe that's what today is as well, because I made a tweet about it. Hope you're all having an excellent day. Gabby, hello, 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 Lyric, hello as well. Hopefully you're able to skip out on your college class so that you can be here and join us for this lovely iteration of the Daramgar stream. We're going to be doing some exciting stuff today. So basically, everybody, before we begin today's stream, I'm excited to announce that I'm pretty sure that we have a schedule going. Also, hello, Paul. Lovely to see you. Hello, Neffy. Hello, Audrey. We have a schedule going Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That's what I am going to be committing to, unless I have an event that requires me to travel, and in which case I will actually announce it. But Wednesday, Friday, Sunday is the schedule that I will attempt to do for everybody. I wanted to get some consistency in. I think I can do it. I think I'm ready for it. And so, basically, the way that everything is going to be structured is Wednesdays are going to be maybe my most experimental days. The days where I do a dish that I don't typically do, or maybe one that is completely new to me. Fridays are going to be the ones where we try to make something in between familiar and new. And then Sundays might be the more predictable days. Also, hello, Schmickstape. Lovely to see you again. Hi, Katie. Lovely to have you. So that's kind of the circulation that we have going. Also, hello, Anna. Lovely to have you as well. So in which case, that's what we're doing today. We're making a little spätzle. I think that's how you say it in German. I think the anglicized pronunciation is Spaetzle or Spaetzle. Something like that. I don't know. I'm excited to do spätzle because it's like one of those dishes that I love going out for and I feel like is really well suited in a home kitchen. It's going to be maybe a little bit less finicky than a pasta dough, right? And I have this cool tool that we got for it. This funny thing that looks like a cheese grater. You put the dough on the top and then you go over the boiling water, the spätzle. It's something like that. It's all in the Eastern European pronunciation. So those are all sounds that I'm phonetically, physically capable of doing as well. So this is going to go over boiling water with the dough that we'll make, and it's going to go in that. And to basically go along with it, because that's going to be the start of today, we'll be doing a beef stew. Not a very Bavarian beef stew. It's not going to be very German. It's just going to be a beef stew done in some red wine and mushrooms, because I thought that would be nice. I was thinking about that. I thought that would be nice. Oh, shit. Do I have any mustard? I should have checked. I would have wanted some mustard. I don't think I have any mustard. Oh, well, that's fine. Not that big of a deal. Also, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. So that's what we'll do today. I did buy, perhaps, maybe a little too much beef. This is the amount of beef that I got. All of this beef chuck. I don't think I need all of this for my beef stew. I might honestly just use half of it and do something with the rest of this for Friday stream. That's kind of the inclination that I have at the moment. Or maybe we'll just cut it all up. I don't know. I guess we'll just see what happens. I am inclined to only use half of it for today. So good for one portion, that's right. Yeah. I've eaten steaks as big as this. I've put down entire tomahawks by myself. I'm a big guy. I'm a big man. I can eat a lot of beef. But I don't want to make so much food that I have a fridge that is just full of leftovers. And then also, yesterday, I made this really, really incredible chicken broth, right? Super gelatinous. Really, really meaty stuff that will be going into the beef stew today. And so the order of operations is as follows. We'll be searing off the beef. Then we'll saute the mushrooms. We'll put it all together. It's going to be great. Also, a really huge thing that I want to talk about. We will be searing the beef like a steak and then cut it up into cubes. The reason for that is when you cut beef or any piece of meat into cubes that are too small, before you develop any browning or crust on the outside of it, it tends to release too much of its water too quickly. I prefer to cook it almost like a steak in the beginning, like get like a fat, like fucking sear on it, and then to be able to cut it up into cubes, because that way you actually get some proper development of flavor. IMO. So that's what we'll do. It'll be good. So we have to cut the meat. We have to cut up some onions and stuff. It'll be good. So I'm excited to see how today goes, I suppose. And all of that, by the way, is just to go along with the spätzle. All of that is for the sake of doing that. Which for those of you that are unfamiliar, it's somewhere between like a dumpling and a noodle in terms of its texture. It's really good stuff. And also really excitingly as well, in the process of making yesterday's broth, all of this is pure chicken fat that I have here. I have a bunch of chicken fat. And I think what I wanted to do with the spätzle, I wanted to have a mixture of garlic, parsley, chicken fat, and butter to dress it all in. So the chicken fat will cook a little bit of garlic and not get it like too caramelized or anything. And then toss the butter and parsley in that. And I think that would be, I think it'd be lovely. So I would love to do that. And then as for the beef stew itself, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing like a flour thickened beef stew or if I'm going to do like, I'm gonna try to reduce it and separate it. I guess we'll just find out what I'm feeling in a little bit. Dara, I fucked up making rice. How do I remove burn spots from a pot? Great question. Soak it in water. Just soak it in water. And if it's still fucked up, then if it's a stainless steel pot, barkeeper's friend is going to be your best friend in this case. Okay. So let's get started, shall we? Let's get my keyboard out of the way here. Yes, chef, very excited. Lovely to have you. So first thing that we need to do, we just got to cut the beef in half because I have decided I'm not going to be cooking all of this. This is a freakish amount of schmeat. It's quite a bit of schmeat, let me tell you. Quite a bit. Gonna get some gloves so I don't have to run back and forth and wash my hands over and over again. It'll make my life a little bit easier. Get my gloves on, my black nitrile? That's the term? I think that's what it's called. Gloves on. And all I'm gonna do, once again, I'm only going to cut this into like stew meat cubes once we've actually cooked it a little bit, once we've gotten some development, once we've gotten some crust on it. And that's gonna be really, really nice. We're gonna deglaze it in a pan and everything too. We're going to deglaze it with a little bit of wine. It's gonna be excellent, I think. So, yeah, I do not need this much meat for today's stew in the slightest. I only need this much. This will be the perfect amount. Oh my God, did I just hit a bone? I did. Those bastards. This is full of bones. Oh, this is going to be a little process, isn't it? Okay, that's fine. We'll just have to go in between them, just like this. Yeah, and that's going to be fine. And then we'll have to cut out and trim off this little bone right here because I think I don't want bones in my stew necessarily. That won't be too nice. Bone's not going to add flavor. Only like collagen adds like that flavor and depth to it, right? And there's plenty of it in chuck, I assure you. So in this case, I'm just going to get rid of this thing. Boop, don't need that. And I think this is a fairly respectable amount of meat to have in a stew. This looks totally fine. So what I did yesterday, by the way, as always, on a sheet tray, I had my meat. And I just hit it with a bunch of salt and I let it sit uncovered in the fridge. This will help to brine the meat a little bit because we'll try to season it through when it goes into the braise. And then also dry out the exterior of it so that we can get a nice proper crust developed on this bad boy. Also, Karate Kuba, thank you so much. Also, hello, Sophie. Lovely to see you. Lovely to have you. Karate Kuba, thank you so much for the sub. Always a pleasure. Just gonna pat this bad boy dry. Once again, it was totally salted. We're not gonna add any pepper to anything at this stage quite yet. It's just a nicely dry brined piece of meat, and we're getting rid of every last bit of moisture that we are physically capable of. Boop, just like that. Okay, all that we need to do now, and I'm actually going to leave this cutting board as it is, right? And the reason for that is because I'm gonna go back to this board. The meat's gonna be half raw on the inside, and we'll be cutting up the meat on this very same board. So I'll leave it as it is for now. Okay, let's head to the stove. Boom, lovely. Okay, let's move this pot. I do not need this pot at the moment. We're gonna get this stainless steel pan, nice high heat, nice medium high heat. We're gonna heat this bad boy up. And we'll just sear the fuck out of that piece of meat on it. It'll be good. Hit it with a little avocado oil as soon as it like heats up heavily. It'll be nice, it'll be a good time. We just want a nice heavy sear once again. In the meantime though, what we can do is probably just start to build what's going inside of the pressure cooker itself. Because I love doing a pressure cooker for anything that's a cooking stream because we're dealing with some limited time. Okay, let's come back on over to this. Where's my shot? Lovely. Hi. So, let's get my pot going full of stuff. Boom, right in here. So something very important that we won't do though, we won't be actually salting this. And the reason for that, once again, is because once we take the pressure cooker out, we're going to take all that liquid and we'll try to reduce it into a sauce and maybe then thicken it. The reason I don't want to add any salt in this stage is because I do not know how much I'm going to be reducing it because we're only looking for a very specific viscosity. The meat is already a little salted, so it's going to leach some of the salt into the pot. We're also going to salt the mushrooms, but everything else, We're leaving the liquid intentionally bland salt-wise so that we can control it later. If you add enough salt to season this broth now, that's why I make all of my stocks unsalted. If you add enough to it now to make this perfectly seasoned, when you reduce it down into a sauce, it's going to be inedibly salty. Inedibly so. So I don't do that. I don't mess with that. So, get this thing in there. Not a very appealing sound, is it? Okay. I'm gonna get a spoon and scrape the rest of it out. And we might do a splash of water because that is a little too viscous. A little too thick, if you will. We don't have enough liquid at the bottom to properly pressure cook. I'll just wash out the inside of this, basically. That should be enough. Just to make sure I don't waste anything, I put a lot of effort into the stock last night. You guys could also see it on my Twitter if you wanted to see what it looked like before I reduced it. Okay. That happened, that got done. This is just going in my dishwasher because cleaning as you go is one of the most essential things that you could possibly do in a kitchen. And now, we got a little water, we got our broth in here. Let's do a couple of splashes of soy sauce. I'm just gonna go in with this Vietnamese soy sauce because why not? Not Vietnamese, excuse me, Filipino. Couple splashes. And this is mostly just to give it a little bit of oomph. You're not really gonna taste the soy in this, right? Twitter, what's Twitter? Don't you mean X? Oh God, I got hit with the thing. It finally happened to me, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry guys, I meant X. I meant X all along. So, little soy sauce is gonna go in there. How do you not make when you reheat it? I mean, I need you to understand something. I grew up Russian. I grew up Eastern European. You know what we would eat at holidays? Fucking holodets. Everybody makes fun of American gelatinous salads. The Eastern Europeans have been doing it for just as long. We would have cold chicken broth, holodets, right? Cold, super, super dense chicken broth with like cold carrots inside of it and little bits of meat and stuff in there. That's a very traditional classic Russian dish. It's something I grew up around. Do I like eating it cold? No. But am I okay with the jiggly texture? Well, you know what? I'm a simple man. I don't mind the jiggly things in life. Sorry. I apologize. Point is, I'm okay with the jiggly part. And once again, the soy sauce is also quite salty. Do I have any more sushi actually? I do. I do have some more sushi. Just classic, stew taste. Not too much. I don't want it to be overpowering. Okay? Keeping it really, really simple. And I do have already bay leaves and peppercorns inside of the stock itself. So I don't feel like I want to add any more as like an aromatic quality or anything. We are going to grind some black pepper in here though. I'm feeling it today. And we'll do a nice pinch of MSG. Something like that. That should do just nice. That should do fine. Okay. And we'll do a pinch of MSG. All of that going on in. Perfect. Just to give it a little bit of extra oomph, because why not, honestly. So we have some soy sauce, we had some Worcestershire, and we'll have a bunch of reduced red wine. Oh shit, I should have opened that off camera because I don't think I'm even legally allowed to show that because I'm turning 21 in, I don't know, a few weeks. November 1st, by the way, if anybody wants to get me a gift, teehee. I have to open this off camera. Sweet. Mods, nothing. Okay. Everything has gone inside. I'm wondering, do I want anything else in here? No. So I was going to say, we're going to have a bunch of reduced red wine that's just going to be dumped in here. And I do like doing that on the pan itself because it'll help to deglaze everything once we get to it. So the order of operations is as follows. We sear the meat. We'll cut it up into cubes. We'll get the mushrooms going in that pan. We'll chop up some of the onions and the shallots and the garlic as well. And it's all just gonna go into the pot and cook for about 35 minutes or so. Now, that being said, I do believe my pan has now been thoroughly heated. Let's head on over to the stove. And, once again, the best way of indicating whether or not a stainless steel pan has been fully heated through is if it is dancing. Now, I can only do this and heat it to this point because of the fact that this is not an all-clad stainless steel pan. If this was a fully clad stainless steel pan, this would be really, really, truly overheated. But that was totally fine. We splashed some water, get a little bit of avocado oil, just a little bit. It's a very fatty piece of meat. We don't need an insane amount of oil or anything, okay? And it's gonna smoke, and it's gonna be annoying, so I'm gonna have to actually get rid of some of that oil. It's too much oil, in fact. Boop, just take that over here. Great. That's gonna be just fine. It's smoking. That's kind of what we need from it. And we gotta turn on a fan. Sorry about the noise, guys. Such is the life when you live in a New York apartment. And on she goes. And we're looking to get a nice heavy sear. All right, how loud is the fan? So this is just a plain stainless steel pan. This isn't like that nice Mavier one that I've had, where basically, whatchamacallit, it has like a copper core inside. This is just straight stainless steel and maybe aluminum inside or something. Yeah, I hope that's not too loud. If it is, there's not that much that we can do about it. This thing is producing a lot of smoke. Just cleaning up while we can do it. The fan is noticeable, but not that bad. Okay, great, that's fine. We're actually just we're gonna kill it really, really soon though, so it's not a big deal. Again, the whole goal at this point, we're just getting a lot of color. Okay, we're just getting a lot of color, and that's all that we need from it at this point, okay? We don't need it to be cooked. We just want to get that crust, we want to get that development, and we're going to reduce it and deglaze it. We can even just get a little sneak peek, see how it's going. Not at all where I want it to be. Okay, sweet. So, once again, we have our stew stuff ready to go, all in the pot. I don't know if we'll need anything else in here. The only thing is we might need to adjust with some water. We'll see what the water level looks like when we add in the mushrooms, when we add the onions, because this does need enough water to, of course, build pressure, right? So there's a minimum amount to that. But I think theoretically speaking, this should be fine. I don't think there's anything else off the top of my head that I would like to add to it. Okay, meat is still going, meat is searing, it's doing its job. What else do I have to do? We gotta work on the mushrooms. We can work on the mushrooms, let's do that. I'll take this away for the moment. Get it out of here. We got my nice clean cutting board. The one that's not, you know, of course, covered in schmeat. So all I'm going to do for the mushrooms, I'm going to just cut it into quarters. For the high smoke temp specifically. That's all. You can use whatever you want. You can use canola, you can use peanut oil. Peanut oil would maybe be ideal. In fact, I like peanut oil a lot. I just happen to have avocado oil, and thus avocado oil we use. Okay, we got a nice crust on that one side. We'll flip it over, try to get a similar one on that side too. And now, let's work on the mushrooms. Okay. Here's my mushrooms, right here. All I'm gonna do, just cut it in half and then into quarters. Because think about the pieces that you want to eat. They're gonna shrink a little bit, but they're not gonna shrink as much as some people think, unless you like slice it up. So, I like doing quarters for something like a stew. It's gonna be perfect. Just like that. And these, they will go into the pan that we cook the beef in. And the reason for that, the reason we're doing that, is because the mushrooms, when they cook, they're gonna leach a lot of liquid. They're gonna leach a lot of liquid out of it. And with a little splash of water, it's going to help sort of clean up what's in the pan. Once the water reduces, we'll throw in a little bit of fat. and we'll saute the mushrooms in that. I think we can use the chicken fat for that. I think that might be really pleasant. Let's take a look at the beef. Let's see what's happening with it. Shit. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. Not bad. Looking pretty good, in fact. We'll get a little bit more color on that one side, and then it'll be fine. So the mushrooms, I love doing the wet method, right? I love doing the method where we just kind of throw it in a pan with a little bit of water. I feel like something that people do a lot, they try to throw mushrooms into a pan full of fat, and then it kind of ends up soaking up the fat because mushrooms are quite porous in their structure. So this is a very nice way to go about it, IMO. So, let's get this meat into the fridge. I have no use for this anymore. I'm going to put this away. This I'm going to use at a later date for whatever I see fit. I don't know what that is going to be quite yet, but we'll see, and we'll figure it out. Give the meat a couple more minutes. Nice. We'll just give it a little peek, right? We'll just take a little look. Nice, pretty good. Couple more minutes. We just want a nice, deep, heavy crust on that schmeat. We got to get a plate to take it out on, though. That's what we need to do. And then also, at the same time, we can work on some of the onions for the dish as well. So the onions, I'm not going to saute or anything because we don't really have the time to do that. But I'm going to keep them whole. I'm going to keep them almost entirely intact. And the reason that I like to do that for this is because when it gets pressure cooked, if they're really chopped up, they're basically going to dissolve into nothingness. Especially because I have like these little shallots right here. Literally, all I'm going to do, I'm going to slice this, and then I'm just going to peel it all around and keep it in this entire shape. And I think it'll be really, really pleasant. This almost reminds me of like a pearl onion in its shape and size, but of course a little bit larger than that. And you're gonna bite into it and get this like nice, sweet, stewed onion, which is honestly, to me, a very pleasant texture. So just like that, that's it. That's all of the processing that we're gonna do on the onions. I bought a bag of shallots, and this was the best way that I thought I could get rid of them. Okay, sweet. I have a couple more behind me. I do wish I had a few more, though, to get rid of. Oh, well. Apollo Kage. Thoughts on the Pythagorean theorem? I don't know, it's pretty good, I guess. Well, are you asking me about triangles? Is that what you're asking me? Hello. Hope you're having a lovely day. It's lovely to have you. Okay. You know what? Let's just go back to the meat. Let's see what's happening. Okay. How's this doing? That is perfect. I think that's fine. I think we're just going to pull it now. That meat has properly seared. It's gotten a good amount of color on it. And now, all that we're going to do, we're going to go in with all of our mushrooms. Going in right now, just like this. And it's going to go in with a splash of water. And the water is going to help the mushrooms to quickly collapse in their texture. We want the mushrooms to collapse. Also, thank you, Anonymous Gifted, for the gifted sub. We're going to wait for the mushrooms to really collapse in their texture. Also, holy shit, my apartment is full of smoke. I unplugged my... I can't say that, can I? Okay, it's fine. All the mushrooms are there. They're going to collapse in texture. They're going to release a bunch of water, and then we're going to saute it in fat. It's going to be nice. I still have the stupid loud fan on because of how much smoke is in the kitchen, which sucks. It's very frustrating to me. All right, we need plenty more water than that to get them to properly collapse. There she is. That's doing the job. Okay, nice. Look at it go. So, mushrooms cooking now. They're going to evaporate all the water. They're going to suck up some of the water. Then we'll go in with some chicken fat. We'll go in with a little bit of oil as well. We'll hit it with some salt at that stage, and it'll be nice. Dolly, do I have a window in your kitchen? No, I do not in the slightest. My apartment is just simply full of smoke. There's nothing that I can do. I have some windows on the other side, but I have to go in there, and it's going to let in some daylight. It's going to be a whole fucking mess. It's going to be a whole thing. It's easy to tune out? Okay, sweet. So, Oh, that's happening. Mushrooms are inside. I realized I didn't actually chop that mushroom, but you can actually just kind of crush it in half if you'd really like. Holy shit, I actually missed quite a few, didn't I? That's fine. That's not a big deal. Water going on him. We can let him be for a second. Okay, let's head back to the onion chopping, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna get my bench scraper out just so that I can properly get rid of all of this onion peel that we have stuck to the board at the moment. Okay, back to the onions. You know what? I might throw in one more onion just for fun. I don't have any more shallots, but this is what I do have. Hello, Jackie. It's lovely to have you. Okay. Peel these bad boys. And then we'll just throw them into the pot. It's going to be good. Okay. That's it for the shallots. Always have a nice little waste bowl. It's good for them. I have this half onion that I want to get rid of, right? So this is the perfect application for such a thing. Cut the head off. How you doing, Jackie? It's good to have you. Ugh, really, really tight. Okay, and off it goes. Cut the butt off. And once again, we want to kind of match these pieces. It's okay if some are a little bit smaller, and you can't actually emulate it perfectly, but I think I'm just going to stop there. Right? It's going to fall apart a little bit. They won't actually stay intact like these, but I think that's totally fine for my taste. Okay, now let's just get those into the pot. The onions aren't going to be sauteed or anything. They're just going to be straight pressure cooked. Like nothing too crazy on them. Let's get my pressure cooker over here. I wanted to be able to show this to you. Much better. Get all of these inside. This one looks really good. I think so too. Get all of those in there. And yeah, I think we'll have sufficient liquid for us to pressure cook everything. Just fine. I think it'll be a non-issue. Okay, sweet. Is that about it? I think that's it. Next thing, we're gonna have to prep some garlic for the mushrooms because we're gonna saute it with garlic really, really soon. Get this out of here. No longer have a use for this at the moment. Ah, I caught my microphone on the door hinge. Okay. Garlic. I want a lot of garlic. I would like a substantial amount of garlic, okay? That's what I'm feeling at the moment. So yeah, this is like very similar to the short rib recipe that we were doing not too long ago. That was actually a few months ago at this point. It's just a really, really simple beef stew that we're doing. We're not really innovating upon the beef stew concept, you know? Just really, really simple stuff. Garlic, mushrooms, wine. You know, we're gonna have some parsley at the end as well. It's just gonna be good. It's gonna be good, it's gonna be classic, it's gonna be simple flavors. And there's nothing wrong with that sometimes. Especially when it comes to European food, right? That is the stereotype. We'll just focus on technique. We'll try to get everything to the texture and viscosity that we want. I think I can finally turn off the fan because it has stopped smoking in the kitchen. Okay. All of these are my garlic skins that I'm gonna now have to get rid of. Come back here, clove. Yeah, as do I. Am I gonna use all of this? I think I'm gonna use all of this. Yes, spätzle is pasta. You're absolutely right. It is, essentially. We haven't made it yet. We're just doing a beef stew at the moment. That's gonna come later. It's closer to like a dumpling, right? Well, an American dumpling, rather. Well, it's like this kind of wet dough, somewhere between like a batter and a dough. And, okay, we got it all smashed. It's somewhere in between like a batter and a dough, and it's gonna go through a special little tool, and it's gonna give us these little drops of dough. It's gonna be quite nice. Okay. Sweet. All that just comes off, nice and easy. Loud smash. Sorry about that. I should have given you guys like a noise warning before I did that. And these are going to go into the mushrooms once again, once they're done with the boiling phase. So once again, you see all that liquid? A lot of that came out of the collapsed mushroom because mushrooms are super wet. They're basically super saturated with liquid. And then, once all that water cooks out, we'll add a nice big splash of chicken fat and get it some good color in it, and then dump that into the pot. It's going to be good stuff. Okay. Garlic has now officially been peeled. Let's clean up the board as well. Make sure we have no trash on it or anything. And now all that we're going to do, we're going to cut the butts off of it. Just like this. Perfect. And we're going to just basically rough chop all of this. Is that minus on block? Which part? The smash? I always leave the butts on my garlic. Is that bad? No, but sometimes you just get a bit of the dried garlic butt. It's just dry. And I don't know, I just feel like it's weird. That's all. It's not that big of a deal. Most people, they kind of leave it on, don't they? It's not like, if you get a bite of it, you will definitely notice it. But is it bad? No. It's just unpleasant. Okay. Something like that. Get all of this garlic back together. That is a shit ton of garlic now that I'm looking at it. In fact, I might not even chop it any further than that, so my stew isn't overpoweringly garlicky. We'll just keep it like that. Keep it simple. Okay. Get all of that now into this. And we'll have to chop a little bit more garlic later as well for the spätzle. The spätzle, I'm going to do like a garlic butter. It's going to be nice. This is, trust me guys, for that amount of stew that I'm doing, that is plenty. That is plenty of garlic. Let's go take a look once again at our mushrooms. Let's see how they're hanging. Give them a little stir. Nice medium-high heat. Perfect. We're just waiting for all of that liquid to reduce, right? And this has picked up all of the fond as well that has essentially emanated, that has been released from the cooking of the beef. So once that water is evaporated, we'll keep a close eye on it. The sound of it is super important. It's very blah, 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 blah. Right? Once it starts hitting like a Highland psh, that's how we know it's starting to saute. And then we'll add the fat. Just waiting for all that water to escape it. Okay. I suppose we can also go ahead and take another look at our beef. Let's get rid of all of this. I have no use for this at the moment. We're going to cut the beef into nice big cubes, is what we're going to do. I'm going to put this cutting board away, get a contaminated beef one out, yet again. And now it's time to cut up the rested beef. Let's get my gloves out. Just because it makes my life that much easier. So once again, the beef isn't fully cooked through. All it has been gently brined. Kind of impressed how you make cooking look not messy. It's not messy. If you take your time and you don't rush the process, it's really, really just methodical. And cleaning as you go is one of the most essential steps, and knowing what tools that you can reuse. So it's a process to get there, but it really doesn't have to be messy. It's only messy when you're rushing it. So once again, this is basically an uncooked big thing of chuck. That's why I'm totally okay putting it back on the board. It's going to go ahead and cook again. There's no cross-contamination happening. Even though I would eat this as it is. I love raw beef all the time. Okay, so we got to figure out a nice way for us to cut this bad boy into cubes, don't we? We don't really have to overthink it. The only thing I'm going to do, though, I'm going to cut out some of the bands of fat. Oh, no, that's mostly meat. I shouldn't have done that. There's a couple of bands of fat that I feel like I can get rid of. You know what? It's fine. Let's not overthink this. Let's just leave this as it is. So all that we'll do, once again, this was just a big old piece of chuck. Let's do this in half. Right? And once again, totally raw on the inside, which is totally fine. All that we needed to do is develop some good crust on it. And then, from here on out, the question is, how big of cubes do we actually want going into this? I feel like something like this, maybe cut that in half should be fine. That should be more than fine. Something like that. That's what a beef cubes will look like. Perfect. Nice big cubes. It's fine. We have to adjust the shape of it because it's not a perfectly square piece of meat. Oh shit, maybe I should have used all that meat. It's fine. It'll work out. Okay, I'll even get the little piece in here. Even if it overcooks, it'll be okay. Something like that is what I'm thinking at the moment. And all of this is just going to go into the pot as it is. Boop. I'm going to dump it in right now while my hands are nice and contaminated and try to get some of the resting juices out though. However, there is more resting juices the more you've actually cooked a piece of meat. So the fact that there was so little tells us that this was basically uncooked on the inside. Right? Just like that, nice and simple. And now I'm going to stick stuff into the dishwasher. Make my life a little easier. But first, how's the mushrooms doing? Oh shit, the pan is almost dried up. Okay, we got to keep a nice, really, really close eye on this. Once we start to hear it sizzle, that's the moment. That's going to be the moment for us. Then we have to just go in on the thing. Just going to put this away in the meantime. Put that away. All of that is inside. The mushrooms are almost totally dry at this point. Okay, we don't want it to start burning. You can even hear it to start to sizzle at this point. And what we'll do, nice and simple, we're going to go in with our chicken fat that we have set aside for this very occasion. We have a nice spoonful of chicken fat that we're just going to dump on in. It's going to be great. Boop. All that goes inside right now. Come on. Lovely. And I just think it'll be nice. I think it's going to give it like a little bit of extra flavor that would otherwise just be missing from the whole operation. Okay. How hot is this handle? Too hot for us to just pick it up as it is. Let's get that chicken fat all the way around the mushrooms now. Yeah. The fat's in there. And now, my friends, we'll hit them with a little bit of salt. Not too much, once again. There's a bit of soy sauce into the broth itself. And we don't want the cooking liquid to be too salty. So just enough to season the mushrooms. See if they can just evaporate a bit. That much should be fine. That should be totally okay. And now they're just frying in all that chicken fat. It's going to be great. And tossing it like this, by the way, is the best way to evenly season it all the way around. Okay? That's the best way to make sure that all of it is evenly coated, as much as possible at least. Lovely. The mushrooms are just going at this stage. We'll cook it a little bit more, then we'll toss in the garlic. As soon as we develop a little bit more color, it'll be perfect. Okay, I'm gonna wash my knife in the meantime as well. Just so I don't have like a meaty knife lying around for no reason at all. Okay. Beautiful. Everything is going according to plan. I wasn't here for the intro, but I'm guessing the stream started 30 minutes early. No, it didn't, okay? It was right on time, I promise. This time it was right on time. Also, thank you so much for the Prime sub, Hulkin. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, let's get back in here. Yeah, we're getting some really nice browning on these mushrooms now. Oh, I might even sneak a little bite because these are really tasty. Thank you so much for the sub. So, once again, mushrooms cooking. Once we get a little bit more color on them, we'll hit it with the garlic. Then we'll take the pan off the heat and we'll dump in a bunch of wine. We'll get in that wine and we'll reduce it into basically a syrup, dump that into the pot, and then set everything for about 35 minutes in the pressure cooker. And that should be just the right amount of time. The mushrooms do smell quite lovely. I'm gonna steal a bite at the moment, I think. That'll be the move. The plate, in fact. Okay. Where is my fork? There she is. That's a nicely sauteed mushroom, I can't lie. Smells great. It's getting some good color on it. I could have done with a little less fat, honestly. This was a kind of excessive, but that's fine. It's fine by me. Cheers. That is a hot fucking mushroom. I almost stuck that in my mouth. Just covered in hot chicken fat. That would have been an awful idea. I should not have done that, and I'm glad I didn't. I can wait. I think I can wait. That would have been horrendous. Chat, how are we doing? We doing good? We hanging out? But yeah, this isn't any of the exciting stuff yet. This is all like fairly routine for me to do like a beef stew like this. Such a tender mushroom too. Wow. Really good color on all sides now. That's what I'm talking about. That's the good stuff. Yeah, you're just that different, goop hole. What are my go-to comfort foods? I'll fucking show you right now. You ready? This. My favorite ramen of all time. Shin Black. This is my comfort food. This with a fried egg, scallion, cumin. Love doing cumin in this. Sesame oil, sesame seeds. Mwah. That's what I do. Shin Black. This is not the regular Shin. Shin Black. It has the bone broth as well. The little powdered packet. This is my one. That's the one. When I've had a bad day, that's who I go to. Okay. Now, I'm looking pretty good. I feel like this would be a good time for us to go in with the garlic. You got the kimchi version of that? God bless. Garlic. We're not going to cook this for too long or anything. We don't want the garlic to burn after all. All we want to do is just toss it through. Get my nice handy dandy little towel on. Yet again. Oof, that one's a little too thick. It's going to make it actually kind of tough to toss. I should just use this one instead. Get all the garlic distributed. Make sure none of it is like staying on the same side, right? Because then you're just going to get like hot spots and little bits of burnt garlic throughout. In fact, because of how sticky it's getting, I really might just end up using my tongs at the moment. But it's looking pretty good. I'm losing a lot of the garlic. Maybe tossing it wasn't the most optimal suggestion, but that's okay. Okay, just getting a little bit more color on it, and then it's all just going to be dumped into the pot. Drop the heat a tiny bit, tiny bit. Let's head to my overhead camera yet again. Hard to find in my country, so tahini. Ah, gotcha. I see. Okay. Just getting that ready, getting that prepped. Oh, I can smell the garlic. The mushrooms are looking great. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I think now is a good time for us to pull it. Yeah, let's pull it. Let's get it out of here. Gonna go ahead and grab this. Let's kill the heat for a moment. And we'll get all of that garlic, all of those mushrooms out. And into the pot it goes. Especially the garlic. That's the thing that you need to get out like right now before it burns, okay? And it's okay if some of it is left because we're gonna add a bunch of wine to this in a moment. So it's like fine, but definitely not ideal. And you see all of that like mushroom fond that we have on the bottom, right? Right now, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get rid of that. All that goes in. Get that back on. We're gonna pour in a bunch of wine and deglaze. Whoa. Guys, I just had my stream exploded for a second. I accidentally moved some of my scenes around because it wasn't locked. Okay. Here's what's gonna happen. A bunch of red wine, okay? We're gonna do that much. And now we're just gonna reduce all of it. We're gonna reduce it. All that red wine's gonna go in. We'll scrape up the bottom as well, just to make sure that all of it has unstuck as much as possible. And I like doing this before it actually gets pressure cooked, because then we get to have like the full syrupy consistency, which will help to then thicken the braise itself. And I don't believe we'll need any of this for today, so I'm just going to put this nicely away into the fridge. Okay, sweet. That goes in the fridge. This we go in. We're going to take our tongs because we were using them, so we may as well continue to use them. I once again splashed. That's fine. I do this all the time. I should go a little bit gently. I'm just making sure that as much of it is unstuck as possible. And we're just going to reduce this until it's kind of syrupy. Perfect. Just like that. What temp to reduce the wine? I don't know. No. This is just going to go into the braise. So it's just going to be reduced, but we're not actually going to be thickening or finishing it like a sauce. We'll be doing that with the braise itself, though. I have a terrible group project, so I'll be leaving now. Thanks, peace. Save a plate. Will do. Thank you for being here, as always. Your presence is always appreciated. But yeah, so in the pressure cooker itself, we have... Oh, I have to move some shit around, don't I? This is the broth that we have, a little bit of soy sauce, some onions, of course, the garlic, the mushrooms that we added in, and we'll throw in the red wine in a moment's time. I do like just doing this beforehand. So just getting it there, it won't take too long or anything. And it'll also pick up as like a little side benefit. It'll get the rest of the garlic up as well. But yeah, I'm quite excited for this too. I should actually maybe not keep this on the cutting board, because the bottom of your pressure cooker does have to be kept quite clean, but the board seems to be fine for now. Okay, and then after this, we'll get started on our spätzle dough. We'll throw in a little bit of parsley in there as well, and I think it'll just be fun. I don't normally work with doughs. It's not really my favorite thing to do in a kitchen. And we'll make like a little seasoned garlic chicken fat butter with the parsley as well. That we'll be tossing everything in, and I think it's gonna be nice. I think it's gonna be really tasty. Help us to kill a little bit of time as well. Okay. Just waiting on the red wine now, chat. What's happening? What's spätzle? Great question. It's basically these little German, somewhere between like an American dumpling and like a noodle, where it's like this batter dough that gets dropped into boiling water. And we have this little cute specialized tool where the dough is gonna go in here, the batter goes in here, and then over boiling water, you move this along, this cheese grater kind of thing, and it's gonna be awesome. And we're making a little beef stew to go with it. So we're just currently waiting for the red wine to reduce. It's going, it's doing its thing. Oh, we're burning off the alcohol. That part doesn't matter as much as it's just about getting the peak viscosity that we want, okay? So nice high heat, move this thing around, keep it moving. And we'll be ready soon. And once that's done, into the pot it goes, 35 minutes high pressure. We don't want to overcook the meat into oblivion, right? It'll be nice, it'll just be good. I should have, once again, I've done the little mistake of I don't think I've gotten enough stuff for us to do this stream. I should have done like a salad, but the reason I was so careful with that is because it is my first time doing spätzle. Can you put cheese through that? Oh no, it's not sharp. That's the difference, right? So cheese grater actually has like the sharpened ends on it, and this is just flat. So no, unless you just want to make like a bunch of mush. So that might just not be ideal. That might not be ideal, excuse me. Okay, this is going, this is doing its thing. It's bubbling away. It has the rest of the garlic, the rest of the mushrooms. I'm trying to think if there's like anything else I can also throw into the stew while we got it, but maybe not. If you push hard enough, you can grate cheese through anything, in fact. So I think the advice stands. Mush, my favorite. Do you have a favorite type of music to listen to while cooking? I mean, I listen to usually the music that I like. I won't be able to do that because of the fact that we are actually on stream and there's like copyright laws or something. I don't know, some weirdo shit like that. I wonder if it's possible to get drunk by sniffing the wine reduction. Maybe not the wine reduction, but I do know that it is possible to absorb alcohol via inhalation. There's like some there's some like modern gastronomy bars or something that do things like that. With like alcohol vapor and everything. Though I know nothing about it. I just actually know nothing in the slightest about it. So I am not the guy to go to for that. Okay. Wine's almost reduced. It's almost out there. We don't have to reduce it all the way because it is going to be reduced after the cooking process as well. Once we do strain out all the pieces. Also, hello, Big Zach. Good morning. Good evening. Excuse me. Yes. Wow. That makes sense. People do that, don't they? We are going to reduce all of the cooking liquid once the stew is also done. We're going to try to get a sauce out of it. And I'm still wondering if I should do like a flour thickened sauce, or maybe if I should just reduce it and then finish it with fat. And I'm leaning towards reducing and finishing it with fat, but we'll just see. We'll just have to see how I'm feeling. Okay, I'm actually going to switch off the tongs at this stage. My tongs have outlived their purpose to me. I no longer need them for anything. I'm simply going to transition towards a small little wooden spoon. Where's my wooden spoon? I had a cute wooden spoon. Perfect. There she is. Ah, you see that? You drag it and it's able to get nice and viscous. It's holding its shape as it goes down, okay? Make sure you're scraping up the sides as well. There's a little bit of wine left on there. I think that should be enough. That should be enough in a moment, but we'll see. Okay. Let's head back in. Yeah, Brave. Asking for a friend. Definitely not about you. That'd be pretty funny if that was just you the whole time. But yes, I have heard of that too. Quite dangerous. Not very good for you, is it? Okay. Lovely. Let's get... Ooh, this is too hot to hold. So I'm going to just have to grab it like this. Let's get all of it. And we'll just dump our nice red wine reduction inside. And we'll get the garlic, we'll get the little mushroom bits as well out of it. All of it is cooked down really nicely for us. Holy shit, why am I getting a phone call? Please don't announce who this is. No, don't. Wait. Whoa. Okay, one sec. Oh man, this sucks. I actually don't know how to mute this thing. Help. Is that the mute button? No.
Hi there. I'm calling you from Spectrum to let you know that your
Okay.
Steam account is probably
Hi. Hello. Can you hear me still? Oh shit.
kindly call us back at 866.
Why did my mute button not work? Oh, because I didn't select which one. Okay. I was really worried about getting fucking doxxed. That's what I was worried about. That sucked. That really sucked just now. I think we're fine. Hello. Hi. I got really stressed out. I was not expecting that. Hope that never happens again. I got a little stressed out for a second. I'm fine. I'm over it. Okay, let's get back into the swing of things. Hello, my friends. Welcome, 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 welcome. So, we have, of course, a pressure cooker ready to go. It has a red wine reduction, it has the mushrooms, it has the garlic, it has the onions, it has the meat. We're gonna go ahead and put this onto high pressure now. I won't be able to show that off because that is all the way behind me on the other side. High pressure, 35 minutes. I don't want to overcook the meat. I don't want it to fall apart, okay? I just want to make sure that my meat stays intact throughout this entire process. It's really, really important that that's the case. We have enough moisture in there. We don't need to add more liquid or anything. It'll be just fine. And then high pressure. Gotta twist this knob all the way back. So, 35 minutes. Hi, welcome. Bounce back. I'm sorry about that. I got a little stressed out. I don't like getting calls in the middle of a stream, much less on a home phone. That was a little awkward. That was a little embarrassing. But now we can chill. We can chill out. We got the pressure cooker in there. We got everything going. Everything is just going to be fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm reassuring myself while I'm doing that as well. Okay. That really did suck. That was very unpleasant. I'm just getting my pan into some hot water now. It's not that hot, right? Because it cooled off mostly from the evaporative cooling of the red wine as it boiled away. And now we can probably focus soon on the main event of the whole thing. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I just did not... I don't like it when my environment does not act the way I expect it to, I suppose. That part always gets a little stressful. So, here's what's going to happen. We're going to chop up some parsley. Some of the parsley I'm going to mince super finely, and it's going to go inside of the spätzle itself. So let's get that done now. Overhead, beautiful. I have some parsley that I bought nice and fresh just the other day. And once again, always, guys, it's so nice. Thank you so much, Captain Apple, for the Prime sub. We really, really appreciate it. It is so, so, so nice to have all of your parsley, all of your herbs, tucked away in a nice little container and just keep it inside of, with a little paper towel. Whenever you want it, it's already washed, it's already ready to go. Salad spinners have changed my life. That is some good looking parsley, isn't it? Okay, some of it is going to go inside, and then we'll chop up some more later with the garlic. I just want to gauge how much I'm putting inside of it itself. I think it'd be nice for us to do like an herb spätzle. It'll make it like a little bit green. This one, we're going to have to take out some of the big stems, won't we? Right? And this is something I don't like doing in advance, because if you stem your parsley in advance, it is going to go bad faster. So we'll take out all of the major leaves. It's okay if there's a little stem left. But this is nice to do as you need it, and not done more than like a day in advance. Okay? So something like this. Yep, perfect. All that goes in. And we'll just keep going through the pile. Oof. There's no faster way to really go about this other than do it faster. It's always going to be innately tedious. You can just simply do something else while you do it at the same time. The amount of flavor, a fair amount of flavor resides in the stems? Yes, but right now this is mostly a textural thing. This is a textural thing in the sense that I don't want any of the hard stems. I want this parsley to be minced pretty finely and for it to go inside of the dough itself. I also don't love the texture of parsley as it is, much less the stems, right? So that's why I'm okay with making that compromise and wasting a little bit of the stems. Yes, it's suboptimal, and yes, it's being a little bit wasteful, but I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. We need a bowl where we're going to whisk our eggs. And we're also going to have a bowl where we will be throwing in the flour. We'll have a dry bowl and a wet bowl. So this will be our wet bowl, right? We'll throw in the minced parsley in there. And we'll just mix in this bowl, I believe, with all the eggs and stuff. That'll be good. Okay, so in this case, we want a pretty fine mince. So here's what we'll do. We'll take this parsley in our hands. We'll bunch all of it up together just like this. Now we'll set it down. Don't crush it, of course. We're just simply gathering it around nice and gentle. And then nice and thin. We're not crushing it. We're not chopping it. We're just going through it nice, long slices, okay? Just like this. Thank you, Simple Flips. Also, whoa, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're having a lovely day today. Big fan. Okay. Okay, all the parsley. And then I don't like crushing it, right? Once again, I always talk about this whenever I'm chopping a soft herb. We're not doing this fucking rock chopping shit. That's just not happening. Give it a nice 90 degree turn, like so. And we're just gonna keep gently slicing it. Great day so far, you too? Excellent, well, welcome. I'm just going slowly, I'm going gently. When you have sharp knives, you're able to go like this. When you have really dull knives and it forces you to crush through everything, by the way, my knives are due for the sharpen. That's what I'll be dealing with this Saturday. When you have to crush through everything, it becomes that much more difficult. So, we'll iterate this as many times as we need to. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Okay, we're dealing with fresh herbs. They're delicate, all right? They're petite, just like meat. So you don't want to destroy them. Otherwise, all of like the parsley, all of the chlorophyll, all the stuff is going to be left on your cutting board. Yes. That's why when people do shit like, here, I'm going to demonstrate on this a little bit. When they do this, that's crazy. That's insane. Okay? It does nothing. It's not even that efficient. Going slowly, doing nice thin cuts, just like this. And you're not ruining your parsley by doing that. All right, we'll do this maybe one more time because again, I want this to be in the spätzle dough. I want this pretty fine. I wouldn't normally have it be this fine, even for parsley. I'm so glad that it helped. And if you're struggling to slice, that tells you that your knife is too dull. The only time that you should be chopping something or putting a lot of vertical force down is when something is really hard, like a carrot or like a bit of squash, right? Because then it actually demands you to saw through it a little bit. Or press on it, excuse me. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll go through it one more time. Just get rid of any big pieces. And I think, well, I lied. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm sorry, guys. I really just want to make sure that I don't have any massive pieces of this in my dough. We also just don't have to use all of this too. Okay. We'll use all of it. Fuck it. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. And this is why a bench scraper is also really nice to have. You get in there, you scrape it all up. None of it is stuck. Perfect. A nice indication, by the way, that your herbs are too wet or that you crush them is when it starts sticking to everything. Look at them. Nice and independent. Okay? This is a modern parsley. So I'm also going to do something that you'll never ever see me do again in this fucking kitchen, which is actually use a measuring cup. And the reason I'm using a measuring cup is because I really want to make sure that, well, not really want to make sure. I'm doing this to get a basic sense of the proportions that is needed for a spätzle. Okay? I wouldn't normally use a measuring cup in the kitchen, and this is not something that you need a scale for either. When I'm baking, I would use a scale. This is a very basic, simple dough. This is not one that we have to get exact to the gram, okay? So we're going to throw in a little bit of milk. We're going to throw in a little bit of eggs in here. We're going to whisk it all up. It's going to be good. And as for how many eggs do we actually need, that's a beautiful question that you've just asked me. Thank you for asking it. Let's find out in a second. Okay. 3 eggs, 3/4 cups of milk. That should be perfect. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely day today. We need 3 eggs. That's what we need. Okay. Let's get them out. I'll get some milk out while I'm at it as well. It hasn't even finished building up pressure. I can go nice and slow at this stage. Okay. 3 eggs. Let's get a nice little plate so I don't have to contaminate my cutting board or anything. 1. Going on in. Perfect. What's my favorite way to cook eggs? I love huevos rancheros. That's my favorite. Cannot get enough of huevos rancheros. That could be crushed a little bit more. And then boop, all that goes in. Nice. And I did it with one hand just to prove that I'm better. It's actually kind of cool when you do it with one hand. A really good important rule for cracking eggs is just do it with confidence. It's a little bit more challenging if you don't crack it enough, because then you have to like push it in and everything. Just give it a nice fucking confident crack, okay? It'll be good. So, that's done, and now we need to get 3/4 of a cup of milk inside of this thing. Where is it? Where's my measuring cup? And again, this doesn't have to be super exact. This is spätzle, right? This is dough that's not getting baked. Nothing is getting leavened. So you don't actually have to get too crazy with this kind of thing. It is cool, but let's be honest, the first few times you go and start learning, it's a mess. It's fine. Just do it with confidence, seriously, with a little bit of confidence. I'm actually gonna pour myself a glass of milk. I love milk. Oh, that's good. Fucking love milk, dude. Okay. I'm gauging what 3/4 of a cup of milk looks like. I'm gonna go a little bit on the leaner side because it's easier to have it be too dry than it is too wet. And I'll just add more milk later if I need it. Oh, that's gonna go in. And I'm just gonna leave this out here because I'm gonna need this. Keep the milk in the fridge till I need it again. Get my eggs away as well. And we'll go in with a nice big pinch of salt in here. And I like doing the salt in here so that we don't really have to mix around the flour too much. Just whole milk, only whole milk, exclusively whole milk. Couple big pinches of salt. And now let's get my whisk that I just bought today because I didn't actually own a good whisk. Again, I don't really bake or do anything like that, right? Oh shit, I should have done the dry ingredients first. Ah, I'm learning because I'm gonna be using this measuring cup for it. Fine. We're not really trying to beat air into this. The whole point of this is just to make sure it's fully incorporated, okay? So just go side to side. You don't have to do this whole exaggerated beating motion. The most efficient thing to do is just to go side by side. Just like this. Get all of the egg whites fully incorporated. You know what? I'm just gonna do the pepper in here. I'm not gonna even use a whisk for the flour. It'll just be fine. Okay? Oh shit, I should have done a slightly larger bowl. It'll be fine. We'll do the black pepper in this. Almost like we're making an omelet. Yeah, you don't have to do any of that, guys. Really, really simple. Okay? That's enough black pepper. That's fine. If you want to actually beat in air, you do like a figure 8 shape. Otherwise, just side to side is just fine. But again, right now I'm just being very diligent about this because I don't want any streaks of egg white. Okay, let's take a look. It's looking pretty good. It's looking nice and homogeneous, isn't it? Okay, let's get this bad boy out of here. I actually no longer need this whisk for anything at all because I have my salt in here, I have my pepper in here, I have everything that a girl could possibly dream of. Okay, sweet. I'm just getting my parsley off of it and I'll set aside my mixture and get this away from me. Okay, next, here's what's happening. We gotta get our flour inside. I do have to wash off the measuring cup, don't I? Fuck, I love milk. I haven't had a cup of milk in a while. Like a good cup of milk. It's been a little bit. Ah! Also just trying to get rid of the stuff that I have out here. Keep my station clean. The most important thing, once again, everybody, is just keeping your station clean as you go. And then everything will fall into place. Okay. How much flour do I need again? Let's check. Let me take a look. 2 cups, nice and simple. That bowl is too small. I'm gonna have to do this bowl. Because this has to accommodate everything, right? So this should be perfect. Let's wash this off. I'll dry it off because it's going to go into a big thing of flour. You don't want this to be wet, okay? You guys doing good, by the way? We keeping up? I'm excited about this. My first time actually making spätzle at home. Wednesdays I want to be my experimentation days. I want to be able to make something cool happen with them. This I want to make sure is thoroughly, thoroughly dry on the inside before we go into the thing of flour. Man, I might just make myself a second cup of milk. That's what I'll do. I'm thinking about it. I'll do it. Okay. You know what? Why am I doing all of this on a cutting board anyways? What am I doing here? I'll keep the wet paper towels on so it has like a slightly more stable surface to be on. Also, hello, Shiamotis. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Okay. We'll do that. That'll be fine. Let's get flour in here. Have a nice big bucket of flour. 2 cups will be the trick that'll do. We don't really have to sift the lumps or anything. Once again, we're not doing any intricate baking. This isn't anything crazy. We're literally doing a home dish. This is a spätzle. This is the equivalent of like a pasta. It's equivalent of a dumpling. So we're not sifting the flour. We're not doing anything crazy. That's 1 cup. It's not weighed by the gram either. We're not weighing in, with a scale. We're just doing a cup, and it should be fine. Okay, just leveling it out as much as we can. 1 cup, 2 cups, and it's fine. Okay, it will be fine. And if it's not fine, I have some nice mean words to say to it. That's what's gonna happen. Just gonna rinse this bad boy off, keep it soaked so it doesn't dry off. What type of flour? T55 or T65? I have no idea what you just said to me. Are you talking about milling size? This is all-purpose flour. American all-purpose flour. My favorite. Pretty sure it's all-purpose. If it's not, I'll be funny. There's no reason it shouldn't be though. Okay. Getting my spatula out now. And once again, we didn't do the salt and pepper inside of this, so there's no reason to whisk it through anything. Just gonna make sure there's no big clumps or anything, but it's fine. Okay? And all that we're gonna do now, we're just gonna pour this in, get all of that mixture inside, and just mix all of our batter up. And I'd imagine the theory is very similar, where you don't want to necessarily mix this into oblivion, that you kind of overdevelop any gluten. Nice and simple. And if this is too dry, we'll just go in with a little bit more milk. It'll be fine. Everything will actually just work out. This is, however, looking really, really thick. What's happening? What is this? This doesn't look like a spätzle batter. This is suspiciously thick. Did I fuck up my poop? You know what? Let me tell you some shit. I think my eggs are tiny. I think my eggs are really, really small. I think I can actually do 1 more egg and a splash of milk. That's what my theory is at the moment. Because look at this. This is not a batter by any means. I will be courageous and bold enough to go in with another beaten egg, I suppose. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, maybe I need more milk, but I swear to God, I have medium eggs. What are these? Yeah, these are medium eggs. That's tiny. It's not that many eggs, okay? And we'll do a little bit of milk too. We'll do both. I have medium eggs. Let me just crack it on this, and it'll be fine. One, and a little bit of milk. It's going good. Hope you're having a beautiful one. Nice little splash of that. We'll see how that does for us. Again, we'll just troubleshoot. We'll just assess. Side to side. Basically, that should be it. Should be cleaned up for the most part. Yes, eggs use grades, but they're also classified, at least in the US, by medium, large, extra large, or jumbo. Those are the classifications, and I have the tiniest one. And thus, I believe that's what contributed to me having such a thick dough. Because holy shit, this thing is not at all what it's supposed to look like, which I think is really funny. Come on, big boy. You got this. You can do this. I'm proud of you. Yeah, hold on. It's getting there. We might just do another splash of milk or something. Not exactly the start that I would have liked, but listen, guys, we live and learn. That's the whole point of us trying new things on the stream. Okay, Spaetzle masters, Spaetzle experts. That looks way too thick, doesn't it? I feel like we can milk it up a little bit more. When you recipe with ostrich eggs, I am not going to import ostrich eggs from Australia. That's just not going to happen. Okay. That's what we have at the moment. I have a feeling that this is still too dry. This is still a little bit too dry for us. We might do, I just almost fell over while I was mixing that because of how much tension that was. We'll do a little splash of milk extra. A little bit, like that much. Boop, boop. And hopefully that'll help out. Oof, quite a tough dough. Holy shit, if this was bread flour and not all-purpose flour, that would have been really funny because I'm seeing a lot of protein strands out of this. I think I might have used bread flour. It's fine. It'll be fine. We'll literally make it work. We'll figure all of it out. Okay, this is looking like a proper batter now, or at least a little closer to one. It just kind of comes together quite quickly. Holy shit, no, no, no. Look at the amount of actual pull that this thing has. I swear to God, that would have been bread flour. Oh no. I'm gonna look up a reference of what a spätzle dough looks like. Yeah, it's supposed to be significantly soupier than that. We'll do another splash. And then hopefully it'll be fine for later. It's my first time doing this. Ugh, my arm is so tired. I'm not suited to doing this. Also, thank you so much for the sub. Whaley taquitos, I'm sorry. I didn't bring any. Happy coming out B-Day? Oh, it's coming International Coming Out Day. That dough glossy? It sure is, isn't it? Okay. I don't suppose I have any Spaetzle experts in chat. This is the one time that I'll actually rely on you guys for a little bit of help with this. I have no clue if this is what it's supposed to look like for it to go into a press. We might just do another little bit of milk. I think I might have had bread flour. I think that's what's happening here. I think it's way too proteiny. It's getting way too tough on me. I'm the guy from Twitter, but I only know press offhand. I see. It is National Coming Out Day. Yeah, more milk. Thank you guys, very helpful assessments. We'll do one more little splash. It does look a lot better, doesn't it? That's it. We won't do any more than that. And then it will be fine. I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to call it here. I have a feeling this should be perfect for it to go through a press now. Get all of it in there. All of it incorporated as much as it can. A little more milk to drink, not for the recipe. Thank you. Now that is advice that I might take. You know what? That does look pretty close. So maybe it's just good. I might just try to do a little test. It has to like rest for like 15 minutes now. Just for like the flour, I'd imagine, to evenly hydrate. Oof, that is thick. And I'd imagine this really can't be overmixed too much either, right? I suppose what we can do is see how well this goes. If we go ahead and we take some. Let's just take like a little bit. This has to still rest, of course, and everything. but we'll see how easily it goes through the machine that we have for this exact purpose. Is it coming out at all? It is coming out. I didn't put that much in. I didn't want to make too much of a mess. You know, it is coming out. The more you mix, the more gluten you develop. Yes. Well, kind of. You're just going to wind it up a little tighter. It is going through. So honestly, it might actually just be fine at this stage, is the thing. It might really just be fine. And then it all just comes out. So it kind of looks fine. Get it all back in there. Or did I just make more of a mess? We'll do a little more milk. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do a little bit more milk and then we'll call it. And I'll also wash that so it doesn't dry up. A little bit more milk. That's it. And then we're fine. The consistency looks normal. It looks fine. I think we're fine. I'm just really paranoid. It is my first time making this. I really just want this to go well. Get all of it in there, get all of it incorporated. And now we'll just go around the sides. We'll scrape all the sides down. Okay, sweet. Oh, that won't come off that way, will it? We'll just go in with a fork. I suppose that's the best way to do it. Okay. Something like this. No, spatula could be made with like a press and other thing. I could put a whole half gallon in. Yes, that's true. I could also do a lot of things, can't I? Okay, sweet. We'll take that, we'll cover that, I believe, with some plastic wrap. And we'll just let that chill out until we need it. I'm quite nervous about this. So there's a few ways to make spätzle, is my understanding. You can do it with like a thicker dough and it's like done on like a cutting board with like a knife. You can also, wait, ugh. Oh no, is this wide enough? Gasp. I don't like using plastic wrap in the kitchen usually, but I think in this case, controlling the humidity is actually kind of important. So that's why I'm doing it today. Okay, that's fine. It's okay if some of it touches the dough. This is just to hydrate the rest of the flour and let it chill out. Okay. I am, however, just going to wash off the spätzle maker that I have, just so it doesn't stick and dry. Oh fuck, that is just a straight dough on it. Washing this thing is gonna be a nightmare. Luckily it does come apart a little bit, so that does make it easier. But, oh, this is why I don't like working with doughs at home. It is just always going to be a little sticky and always a little messy. And there's actually nothing you can do about it. You just have to put up with it and clean things before they get dry. The worst mistake that you can make is to just let it dry and then it's just kind of over. Okay. Wash it off. Gotta wash off this one now too. Yeah, no, the cleanup always sucks, especially with doughs. So hopefully if I get better at this, I'm not gonna have to do like a test run of it, right? Just to make sure it doesn't, it's not like too dry or anything. But it should get at least a little bit looser when it sits. It should do that. Again, not maybe the cleanest start that I would have been able to ask for, but it's okay. We live and learn, don't we? That's the point of all of this. This is supposed to be an experiment. I want to see how easily I'll be able to make this at home. So far, I'm a little stressed, but that's okay. I got both my pieces washed off. I've now made a dough I've wanted to make for various kinds. Yeah, the cleanup seems a little bit tedious for me. It is tedious, isn't it? That's been kind of the annoying part of this so far. So we will see how this goes. And maybe I will just simply continue with my, very strong hatred towards doing any kinds of doughs at home. The only exception that I've actually made in recent time at all has been just doing tortillas at home, because I think it's just that good of a process and it's that fun for me. And I loved the homemade tortillas. They actually just can't be beat. But I don't know if I would do that if I had like a really good tortilla factory near me. If I had a really good tortilla factory near me, maybe that wouldn't necessarily be the case. Okay. Cleaning dough's a nightmare. Yeah, you have to do it when it's wet. Otherwise, then it just becomes absolutely hellish. So you kind of, like, the time to strike is like now with these sort of things. Rinse it off, get it all done. Woof, hello, hi, sorry about that. We got it all sorted. I deserve another cup of milk. That's what I deserve. Where's my milk? There it is. And then we gotta chop up some stuff. But first, milk time. I deserve this. That's good stuff. Delicious. Can't get enough of it. Can't wait. Hello. Hi. I gotta dry off my spätzle thing, don't I? Make sure that's ready to go for when we need it. I was actually gonna have it chill out back here at the moment. I really hope I didn't make it too gluten-y. I think it was both the moisture thing that we had going on because we didn't have big enough eggs, and the bread flour in tandem with the product that we got. And the tool, by the way, that I do want to give a shot to see how well it does in this application. I think this might be the optimal tool to actually scoop the batter. To scoop the batter and put it into the thing. I think that will be pretty good for us to do. But we'll just put it back there. We have to chop up some garlic. We have to chop up some parsley, don't we? And I want to make a buttered chicken fat with the garlic, and add some parsley to it, and just let that chill out. And we'll toss the spätzle in that. That's what I want to do. So we'll work on that in a moment. I love the cookie scoop. I love it. I do it for like a lot of things, especially for like moving around cold leftovers, or anytime that I would of course do like cookies. I think it's technically an ice cream scoop. You can do it for that as well, but really it is just useful for a lot of different things, which is what is really nice about it. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna now make our garlic parsley buttered chicken fat thing that I wanna toss the spätzle in at the end. So let's get back to the overhead shot. Let's get our garlic out. We're gonna do these cloves of garlic right here. We'll see how it goes. The garlic slipped out. There it is. Got it. Okay. That's mostly the big skin. We get rid of that little clove. I have no use for you. Sweet. Smash it. Crush it. Do what you gotta do to it. Get the thing off. Get it done. Okay? And now we'll go back on over and peel it. Yeah. He'll be crushed into oblivion. The bench scraper is nice for that because you don't have to really worry about like hurting yourself like you would be crushing with like a knife. And you can be a little bit rougher with it because it's a shitty little, $15 bench scraper and not a really nice knife. And I don't like putting that kind of horizontal pressure on good knives, even if they can withstand it. It just feels wrong to do. Okay. Let's see. Is that all the skin? I believe that's all the skin. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to chop it through. Somebody knocking? I swear to God, I heard somebody like hammering something in. All we'll do, we'll go in, chop the butts off yet again. And we're just going to go through it. We're going to get a nice little fine mince out of this. I think after we chop up the parsley, we might not really have to cut anything else. Okay. I really hope the spätzle goes okay. I'm a little stressed about it because it's just new, you know. I've tried my best to like study up on it beforehand and stuff, right? To try to get as like knowledgeable about this as possible. Fuck, I should have done a garlic press. I needed really, really tiny pieces of garlic. Ugh. This is where a garlic press would have been ideal. But yeah, I tried to like study up on it as much as I could beforehand. But I maybe didn't pay as much attention to the viscosity and the texture of the batter as much as I would have liked to. And as a result, now that I am at this stage, I'm just feeling a little underprepared, I suppose, is what's happening to me. I think that's the emotion I'm feeling. So maybe we'll just stick with it and see how it goes. Okay, give that another chop through. Oh my God, I almost did that out of instinct. Many years of people telling you to do that were so wrong. Okay, great, that's perfect. And what we'll do, we'll get this into a pan with some butter and the chicken fat. I think the combination of the two will be really, really pleasant. I think it'll be really nice. So, into this little bad boy goes the garlic. I like that pan a lot. I use it for eggs. I do it for stuff like this all the time, for toasting spices. Everybody needs at least one comically tiny pan, is my very strong belief. Okay, and to this, the batter I think turned out. I think the batter turned out. It looks fine. It looks manageable. So we just simply set it aside. It's chilling out right now, but I think it should be fine. I think it should be fine. And it's fine if it's like too proteiny as well, because it's not meant to be tender. It's meant to be like a chewy little pasta thing, right? So maybe it's just gonna be okay. All right, chicken fat. Do a couple spoons of that bad boy. That's gonna go in. Boop. We'll try not to get some of the, there's some like extra liquid left in this. I'm gonna try my best not to get that inside. A couple spoons of the chicken fat, get one more in there. And then the rest of this is gonna be butter. Tastes like chicken fat. That was actually a little unpleasant. I shouldn't have done that. Okay. And then we'll do a nice cube of butter as well. And these two together should make us a really flavorful fat to put everything in. Look at that. Butter, chicken fat, garlic. What more could you ask for in life? Not a lot, honestly. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be great. Okay, sweet. Get this out of here as well at the moment. I have no use for that. Okay. And now let's, shit, that was the wrong shot. Let's get over here. Get this bad boy, we'll get him on the heat. I should put this away. And we're just gonna have it cook, that's all. We're gonna have it cook, we're gonna have it melt down. We're gonna get a little bit of color onto the garlic. And then that's gonna be it. Now, while that is happening, we're going to chop up some parsley. And this is what we'll be finishing the spätzle with. So, a little bit of parsley. I don't want too much. That should be totally fine, in fact. Keep a nice close eye on what's happening in this pan. Get everything nicely surrounded in fat. And I do like, when I'm doing like garlic that's cooked like that, I like starting that out in cold oil, so that we have a lot more control of the management of the moisture inside. We can slowly cook out the liquid inside of the garlic. you know? Okay, give another little turn around. We'll do this a couple times. Butter is great. I love butter. Can't get enough of it. But in a very similar vein, that's why I try my best not to cook with any form of sugar at all. I try to avoid sugar as much as possible in my own diet, and then cooking with it. Because I feel like we have a lot of it that just naturally occurs. Okay, sweet. That should be fine. I don't want any more than that. That's totally okay. Let's get a bowl, and in this bowl, we'll be putting in the hot fat. I think this should be enough actually to hold that much fat. We'll turn down the heat a little bit. Again, we're not looking to totally squelch the garlic. We're just looking to get some of it colored. That's it. Perfect. And I like adding the hot fat to the parsley itself so that it's not totally like raw and papery. I think the texture of raw parsley compared to other, like soft herbs in its similar classification, they tend to be a little bit papery and a little unpleasant for my taste. Okay, that's done. Let's take a look at the stove yet again, my friends. This is gently, this is slowly cooking. This is doing its thing. The butter is also almost getting like browned at the same time that this is going, which is gonna be lovely. It's looking good. Yes, there's a lot of sugar in the food that we normally eat, right? So that's why I try my best not to add it anyways. It already comes from a bunch of different places. Okay, that is getting almost too dark in color now. That garlic, you don't want to, I should have cooked that a little bit slower than I actually did, but that's okay. I'm just wiping down my station. You can tell by the smell, and it's going to continue cooking in that hot fat, okay? Which you have to be super, super conscious of. You have to be really aware of that. Okay. And we'll kill it. We'll kill that now. Good. And just pour all of that over the parsley. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, that smells really nice. Smells great. Sweet. Look at that. And that is what we'll be dressing the spätzle in. Also grind some black pepper in here. Perfect. This isn't necessarily very traditional or anything. This was more of like, oh, I looked at the fact that I had like some chicken fat in the fridge. Get some pepper in there while it's warm. I think that'll also be nice. I looked at the fact that I had some chicken fat in the fridge and I was like, this would be really nice on something like this pasta, right? On something like this dumpling. Okay. We did it. We've done most of it, in fact. The pressure cooker has about 6 minutes left on it. Oh my God, is that what it does to the emote? It elevates half of it when you do that? That's so funny. That looks so fucking funny. That's hilarious. Ah, look at that. Garlic, parsley, chicken fat, and butter, as well as a bunch of black pepper. I think that'll taste really nice. And that's just going to sit and chill until we're ready with the spätzle to add to it. Cleaning up my station as I go, making sure I get rid of anything and everything that would be an issue for me later on. Woof. All right, we've done a lot. In fact, we've actually done most of it. The only thing I need to do now is maybe get my water boiling and ready to go. Because this is just gonna go inside boiling water, right? The spätzle we go over with the tool and it'll be done. And as for what I'm doing with the beef stew, that's also a really good question. I'm thinking, do I want to do the whole process of reducing it, or do I want to thicken it with cornstarch or something? I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't have a decision in my mind. But in the meantime, what I can do is fill up a nice big pot of water and set it to boil. That's what I can do. And I don't really care about making sure that everything like cooks at the same time. right? Because I'm only really cooking for myself right now. So it's not as though I have to time everything. I just kind of want to see how the spätzle goes and do like a little test batch almost. Okay. That should be more boiling water than that. Nice, big, generous pot of water. That's what we need. I'll set it on the heat. And I'll throw in some salt as well. Yeah, no, this is just an average sized pot. I don't have a... Actually, you know what? My Dutch oven is the closest that I have to a comically sized pot. So there's that. Okay, plenty of salt. It's going to go inside. Right, because that's how we actually season the spätzle itself. Boop. Even though it has some salt in it. So maybe it'll just be fine at the end. Okay, let's take a look at the dough that we have. This is the dressing, this is the fat. This is all ready for us to go and use as needed. That's really tasty. Whoa, that's awesome. That's really flavorful. Just that hot fat straight by itself was really good. Okay, this is the dough that we have. I'm just going to give this a test scoop. And then if we do this, it comes right out, which is really nice. So I think this is actually going to be the ideal device with which I scoop in the, it'll be good. Okay, that's just fine in fact. Get all this back covered. Make sure none of it dries out. Chat, how we doing? We doing good? We hanging out? We have a few more minutes before we kill the pressure cooker. Well, actually, no, shit, we're doing a natural release, aren't we? Okay. The consistency looks good. I think we'll be fine in terms of consistency. Everything's gonna turn out okay. So this is a good time to ask me things. This is a good time to chat with me and keep me entertained because I didn't keep myself as busy as I should have. But what I can do also is I can eat a little bit of cheese in the meantime. I think that'll be quite nice. I have right here a little bit of Jarlsberg cheese that I got from my grocery store. I love Jarlsberg. This is my favorite cheese. It's the cheese that I grew up with. My favorite. Some cheese with your glass of milk. I'm so thankful I'm not lactose intolerant, dude. It would have been over. It would have actually just been so over. Ah, that's the lid. Bring that water to a boil. I've not done a tier list of cheese, excuse me. I just happen to like all cheeses except for fucking Havarti. I hate Havarti. It's like the one cheese I don't mess with because it's just not great. It just tastes like soap. It just tastes soapy. I'm gonna have one more slice of cheese. Countries you want to visit, chef? Oh, I mean, I would love to visit Japan, more so for the food as anything. I think China would be amazing to visit. Hello, Anna, lovely to have you. Mozzarella guy, I love blue cheese as well. Ah, nothing like a truffle brie. Those are my favorites. Okay, and then we'll do like a cucumber as well as a little snack. Okay. My pressure cooker is done. And we'll give it like 10 minutes to release. I've never actually gone out for fondue before, but I think the idea of it is a little silly. Comté is really nice too. Now, why are we fucking with the auto brightness exposure shit? I don't love the fact that my camera is doing that. That's a little bit unpleasant. That I have to take a look at and see why it's doing that. Let's also have a little cucumber as a snack in the meantime. There she is. Come here. Good boy. No, it's not the steam. It's just the settings on the webcam. That's what's going on. Yeah, I don't like that. Honestly, it just might be the shine of the lid that's messing with it. You see how that light is shining on it? That it was. Okay. That's good. So the idea is this. We're waiting on, we'll give the beef a few minutes of natural pressure release. Or maybe I'll just be impatient. It should be tender enough. I want it to be substantial. That's good. And then I'll figure out what kind of sauce I want to make with it. If we should do like a flour thickened sauce, that could be fine. We'll figure it out. This is my favorite snack, cucumbers. That's the one I immediately opt for, every time. Without fail. We'll also get a station set up in a moment. Let's, in this nice big bowl, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my colander here. Okay, so we'll take the spätzle out, we'll put in the colander. I'm actually going to go ahead and set that right by the stove. This is what we'll do. I'm gonna have that basically chill out over here. And so the idea is, once we're done like with like a batch, it'll basically get dumped into that colander. I love cucumbers. Okay, camera, I don't like the fact that you're doing that, buddy. Fix yourself. Fix it. What is this? Thank you. That looks good now. But then sometimes it just gets blue. I'm sorry. I would like to fix that. That is very upsetting. Is it because of the lid? Is it going to do that without the lid? It's just doing that. It's just the autofocus on it. I'm sorry. I wish it looked a little bit better for you guys, but it doesn't. So I'll have to do that next time. Okay. And the idea is we'll be using, whoa, hello. We'll be using this to fish them out, right? This is a nice little spider. It'll go inside of this. So I just have like this station ready to go for when we need it. A lot of white surfaces reflecting light. Yeah, but this is just more so the auto, this is the auto exposure and the auto temperature happening. That's kicking this into effect. As soon as I have my hand in there and it recognizes a skin tone, then it's just fine. But until then, it's getting a little fucky-wucky. Okay. This bad boy, I'm gonna have chill out over here. This is gonna be a Spaetzle tool. And yeah, let's just assemble it again. I believe this thing just kind of goes on like this, right? And then you just go around all the way through it. And we'll use the spoon thingy that we have, our cookie scoop. to be able to get it actually inside of it. It'll be perfect. That is a very tough batter though. That does not look tender at all. I think we might have had a bread flour. That is what I'm leaning towards actually happened here. That is my theory at the moment. Okay. You know what? Let's also do a pressure release on... Let's do a pressure release on the pressure cooker. Just so that's going. Come on, big boy. Okay. Hissing away. Water is almost boiled. It's boiling in a second. And we'll do like a test batch and just see how it goes. I think that'll just be the move. I'm gonna do this. I'm a little nervous. I'm excited. I just hope this goes well. I really want to be able to make good spätzle at home. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to set this up will be though. What will the best layout be? You ready? Yeah? But my pot of water isn't. This is a New York stove, okay? This thing is gonna take a second to get boiling. But now I'm just trying to think, the most important thing, how do we make this part as logistically easy for us as possible once we get into the swing of things? That's what I'm just trying to decide at the moment. And I think the conclusion I am just coming to is it's gonna be like this. Unfortunately, I might not be able to show it off fully, maybe, question mark. But then the bowl is gonna get heated up. That's just gonna suck. What's the best way to do this thing? Maybe this bowl, the smaller one, will go over here. Yeah, no, that should be fine. Yeah, perfect, that's fine. That'll work, I suppose. That'll actually just do the job. It's not that warm that the plastic wrap will melt or anything. But then it's gonna be difficult for us to access. No, I'm fucking around. This is gonna go over here. We're just gonna have this ready. We're gonna pick it up as we need it. It'll be fine. This is the best way to do it. Okay. So, hi. I wanna go take a look at my pressure cooker because this has finished releasing its pressure. Oh, that looks so good. Yeah, the stew looks really good though, I will say. The stew looks amazing, in fact. And I'm just trying to figure out, before we do begin with cooking the spätzle, is how will I actually... What will I do with the stew? I want to thicken this. And I don't know if I should do... Well, I guess I can't really show this off. I have to put this down for a second. I don't know if I should reduce it or that will just take too much time. Honestly, what I'm leaning towards is just doing some cornstarch. Doing some cornstarch in the pot and calling it a day. That might be the play. That might be the move at the moment. We'll set it to a saute function. We'll get it boiling again. I do want to make sure that the meat is fully tender though. That is my priority at the moment. So let's get a little test of that. Because that is the most important part of a beef stew, of course. Is our meat edible? Is it tender enough? Come on, big boy. Where you at? So it is holding up, which is good. I don't want this thing to be falling apart. I want us to be able to have like a chunk, a chunk of meat. Hello. What's going on? Okay, let's have a little look. Boop. And the water is boiling. I think we might, that's very, very tender. Yeah, that just went right through. But still enough for it to hold up on its own, right? Mojo, hello. Lovely to see you. Yeah, this beef is actually at the ideal texture. Really nice. Okay, sweet. I'm just actually going to dump that in. Get that chunk back in there. It's not falling apart, which is great. It's exactly where I wanted it to be, which is awesome sauce. And now I'm just going to set it to saute right on the pressure cooker setting. And all that's going to happen is when we're ready, we'll do a little cornstarch. We'll cut a beef. That was chuck. But now, my friends, it is time for the moment we've all been waiting for. It is Spaetzle time. This is what we have to worry about now. This is our concern. This is the thing that I am doing the stream for. And I'll just thicken it with cornstarch a little bit later, once that's just kind of going. Okay. This is ready to go. I'm gonna get that lid out of here. I have no use for it at the moment. And now, here's the idea. Over this thing of boiling water, I'm gonna put down the Spaetzle tool. Okay? And hopefully this goes well. We're gonna go in with our cookie scoop. Get a couple of, oh shit, I've already made a mess. 1, 2, and 3. That's how much we'll do to start with. And then we'll stop. We'll do as much as this makes. Ooh, shit, that is hot. We'll go nice and slow. All the way through it, as much as it can take. I might have overfilled it, honestly. But we'll see. Okay, it got through the batch. Nice. I have a little bit of waste on the sides. I don't know if there's much more I can do about that. And it's floating. It's doing the thing. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Okay, it got through the batch. And now, we're just waiting for all of it to come to the top. Oh my god, I might have done too much. Did it just stick on itself? Whoa! Yo, that's the texture. Oh, fuck yeah. That looks awesome. That looks great. Oh, that looks great. Oh, I'm so happy. Dude, I was so stressed about this. Who's waiting for them to float to the top? Now we'll give it like 1 minute on the timer. I don't think it's possible for us to really overcook this thing, though. Dude, that is what Spaetzle is supposed to look like. Huh? That looks pretty good, I think. Partially Spaetzle. All of it's floating to the top. We got those little bits of dough. I'm actually shutting off the pressure cooker for now. I'm just gonna deal with all of this. Give this like another little bit. I do want to see. But no, these are really, really bouncy. The texture of that is like actually perfect. Still a distinct taste of raw flour. I might give that another minute. I don't know if it's possible to overcook these though. We'll see. That does look pretty good. And then we'll dress them up really, really nice and everything. I'm just gonna take out some of it now and see what it's like. That's really tasty. That is really good. That is just such a pleasant texture. Holy fuck. That is like... That is actually delicious. That is really, really delicious. That is chewy. That is springy. That is doing everything that I wanted it to do for me right now. Okay, sweet. I think we'll bring this back to a boil and do like a solid 2 minutes on it. And then it'll be perfect. Yeah, and having a spider through this is great because it all just comes out. Look how easily it comes out. Look at that. That, my friends, is Spaetzle. That's doing exactly what it should. That is exactly what it should look like. Also, thank you so much for... Whoa, T, thank you so much for the raid. Much appreciated. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, the Spaetzle is coming out pretty good. In fact, it's not really letting go of any of the liquid, but that's fine. That is really tasty. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. I'm really happy this went out okay. We'll have to go in with the next batch in a moment. Because this... Oh, fuck. I could just eat a spoonful of that, can't I? Even by itself like that, straight up, it is amazing. That is really, really tasty. It is like this little German dumpling. Dumpling not in the Chinese sense, but of the American sense. Of this dough that's just been dropped into boiling water. That is really, really nice. I have no issue with this at all. Okay, sweet. I'm pretty happy about how that came out. I'm gonna push this dough back in though. All right, is it time for the next batch? It might be time for the next batch. Well, this isn't up to a rolling boil yet or anything, but maybe it'll just be okay. Oh, I'm quite happy. Dolly, do I have Nightbot? You could set it to exclamation mark food. I don't feel like that's necessary because I have like it all in my stream description, right? All in my stream title. Okay. This is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Dude, these are so good. You know, it's actually pretty hilarious, and there's maybe a good biological reason for why it looks like that. They really do look like sperm. This is really sperm shaped. I don't know if you guys can see it. Is the camera gonna focus? Maybe? This thing is really sperm shaped. Maybe there's a biological reason for that, because whenever it's getting made, like in your balls that is, but a similar process is happening. I really don't think it's impossible that there was a similar biological mechanism occurring as there would be in the making of spätzle. They might actually just be the same. All right, we're not gonna do as many this time because it got kind of like clogged up at the bottom. So we're gonna do that much this time. And then we're just gonna go through this thing nice and slow. Press all of it down, get all of it in there. I don't like how the spätzle maker though has some of it just leaking out to the sides. That is not good design, I think. Like it's not going all the way. Okay, and that should be fine. I just splashed a little. It is biologically coded to leak, so it's fine. The sperm is boiled in the balls. Yeah, that's great. Okay, we'll set a kitchen timer for like 2 minutes. Shit. That's not what I set it to. 1? No. I'm holding it too long. 2 minutes. And we'll pull it out a little bit sooner so it doesn't overcook. The spatula is really tasty. Yummy. That's really good. Look at these, huh? Those are great. Those look awesome. And this is almost in a way easier than doing fresh pasta at home, minus the part where I kind of fucked up the dough. That's awesome. That's a really pleasant texture. I can't stop eating them. That is delicious. That is actually just actively delicious. That is really, really tasty. Especially once we like properly season it and get it coated in all the fat. That is awesome. I am not upset about this at all. This might have actually just been worth all the effort. and they naturally don't stick with the way that they just fall in. Look at these things. That is great. I'm very happy. Okay. This is going the way that it should. I don't want to overcook these though, is the only thing. So I think we'll pull them now. They floated to the surface, they're doing their thing. Get them all out of here and into the bowl. And having a spider for this makes this job infinitely times easier. Infinitely. That is a big bowl of spätzle. Okay, and now it is time for perhaps the last batch. I don't think I'm gonna need to do any more iterations of this process. All that we'll do, we'll go back in with a scoop, get as much of it inside as possible. Boop, go in. The cookie scoop makes this a lot easier as well. I've seen people do this with like a spatula, and I think this is just kind of optimal, what I have devised. I've innovated. And yeah, my suspicion was correct, by the way, in that like the proportions don't have to be super accurate. This is the kind of thing that is quite literally a boiled dough, right? So it's just gonna be fine no matter what you do to it. I don't like the steam going on my hand. That is quite unpleasant, I will say. Oh shit, is it leaking? Ah, okay, that's what I was afraid of. This has an edge that like stops. Well, it doesn't stop, excuse me. So you can just run it off of it, which is nice for when you're cleaning it. But when you get to this part of the process, it's not so pleasant. Okay, that's fine. Maybe not. Maybe it still has some to get rid of. Okay, there we go. Now it's all done. Also, thank you so much for the sub. Who is it? What happened? Oh, God, thank you so much for the sub. Really, really appreciate it. Okay. This bad boy, it's a kitchen timer. We'll do a little less than 2 minutes again. Okay, sweet. I gotta get all of this stuff soaked in water though, because we are dealing with a dough after all. And it's just gonna be a huge fucking mess unless we do that. Did any of it leak off the edge of it? No, it's fine. Okay, this was a success. Yes, it is starting to cook the bottom of it, right? Which is why you do want to not go too slowly with anything. It's kind of important that you don't do that. I'm going to get all of those parts soaked in the water for now, though. Make sure none of that dries out. Oof, I was a little stressed out going into this, I can't lie. I did not know how well this would turn out. It's my first time making spätzle. I was really, really afraid. But that is delicious. That is actually delicious. That is really, really tasty. That texture is so pleasant. It has like that bounciness. It has that chew that I'm looking for. It has everything that I want. Look at these. These are huge. Wow. Okay. Okay. Sweet. In a moment, we can also just work on, guys, if I hit that starting soon screen again, I'm gonna lose my mind. I apologize. We're going to work on the thickening process for the stew. So all that we'll do, I have a nice little thing of cornstarch right here for this very purpose. A couple spoons of it. A couple spoons gonna go in. Wait, is that powdered sugar? That's not powdered sugar, is it? There's no way that it is. We'll do about this much cornstarch. That should be fine. And this is now done. We'll head back on over to the stove. There it is. And we'll get our spätzle out of there for good. These are fully cooked. They're done. They're ready to go. They've got places to be. Yeah, some of these are fat. Some of those are huge. Wow. Okay, great. This went pretty successfully, I think. The texture is great. I'm going to dress it up in the fat later. It's going to be awesome. I've seen people also like fry these up in butter and stuff. I'm sure that'll also be really good. Okay, and now let's head back on over to the cornstarch that we have happening here. So we got to go ahead and spoon in some of our cooking liquid for the stew. Right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. No, that's definitely not sugar. I just tasted it just to be sure. Getting all of that broth inside. Ah! I spilled. Okay, sweet. Now we just mix this together. Yeah, I've seen people do that. I don't get it. I don't understand. And that's also probably not good for your insides. Okay, I do have to set that now to go ahead and heat back up. Where's my saute? Get all of that cornstarch dissolved. We've made a nice little slurry. And this is probably going to have to happen off camera because unfortunately I don't have an angle on my pressure cooker or in that part of the kitchen. So I do sincerely apologize. So yeah, we make a nice little cornstarch slurry outside of it. And I'll get us a nice and viscous sauce for the stew. I'm sad that I'm not going to have time to do like the actual reduction process for the stew and do the full thing. But truthfully, that's a fucking hassle and I'm tired and I want to eat my food. So that's why things are happening this way. Okay. And then we also have a spätzle right over here that have been fully done. So these just have to kind of get dressed up. Got to find a suitable vessel for that at the moment because I've used up a lot of my bowls in the dough making process, but I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be just fine. It'll work out. Okay. You know what? I could just use the bowl that it's in. Yeah, it's not that wet. Okay, this is just fine in that case. We'll just get it all in. I actually didn't even really need to strain it. The spider did a surprising amount of the work for me. Okay, cool. Got all that out. And now we'll dress it up with this. Once again, this was the chicken fat, this was the butter, this was the garlic. I'm just gonna spoon a bunch of that on in. As for how much I need, I don't know. We'll just get a bunch of it in. It should be fine. All of it. If it's too much, then so be it. And we'll also season it with some more salt because I think it needs it. And I'll also be getting the slurry in at the same time. So while you guys just look at that, I'll deal with the pressure cooker. And hopefully that thickens really shortly. Okay, the slurry's inside, it's been mixed through. And now we'll do a little bit of salt. That's what we'll do. And mix this through one more time. Give this a taste. Also, I can hear how aggressively my stew is boiling. It should thicken up soon, I hope. If I did the slurry correctly. It's been a while since I've done a cornstarch slurry for something. Taste something for salty, stick a regular bite and see. Yeah, but I've been cooking for long enough that I know that I'm not gonna like accidentally oversalt something, you know? Now we'll give this a little taste. Oh, that is nice. That is really nice. That is delicious. You know what? I am not upset about that at all. That is like the most pleasant pasta texture that you can imagine. That is just great. That is delicious. I'm quite pleased. I'm pleased. I'm happy. So why is my cornstarch not seizing up fully? What's happening? What's the big idea? Will it like thicken more as it cools? That kind of thing? I forgot. I don't know. It's just not thickening at all at the moment, is the only thing. That is really good. It does need salt though, is the only thing. Because once again, we had barely any salt in the actual pressure cooker itself going in. Really tasty. That spätzle came out great. Okay, in which case, I'm actually just going to cool it. I feel like the cornstarch has had enough time to actually properly activate though. But it just has not taken on any viscosity whatsoever, is the concerning bit. Well, if it's soupy, it's soupy. That's the life we'll lead. Man, I just want to eat. That's really good. I'm quite happy with how these came out. But if anything the stream has showed you, it is the fact that these are kind of foolproof, right? Even if you like fuck up the batter in the beginning, it's all just gonna be fine at the end anyways, because it's a boiled dumpling. It's an innately extremely simple thing. Yeah, my stew has not seized up at all. So maybe it'll just be fine. Maybe we'll just move on with our lives. I don't know. I'm tired. That's what's happening right now. I'm a little tired. Am I being impatient with this? No, it actually physically has not seized up in the slightest. I might have also just not used enough starch, but I don't know. I don't know. That's actually not my forte at all. That's something I could definitely be a little bit more knowledgeable about. Okay. I'm hungry. I want to eat. I think I'm just going to plate it and say fuck it. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to get a plate out. Gonna get a big old spoonful of spätzle. All this going on. That's perfect. And then, for my stew, yeah, that is not seized. It'll be fine, though. It'll be okay. I don't mind. If it's a little soupy, it's a little soupy. I didn't get to reduce it as much as I would have liked, but truthfully, that would have been a little bit too much for me to do today. The stew does look good, though, nonetheless. Okay. Again, not thickened, not ideal, but it'll still be good, I think. I think at the end of the day, it'll still be pretty tasty. Okay, sweet. I think that's it. There's nothing else that I want to do with this thing. I think it might just be time to eat. That's really tasty. Oh. Yeah, this might be the one time that I got a little lazy with it. I do want to look into why I didn't get my ideal viscosity. The stew is really nice, but really the star for me is the spätzle. That's where it's at. That's really nice, especially all together. I think so too. You know what? Let me just crank that heat on it. I'm just gonna let it go and do its thing for a little. Oh, nope, wrong setting. That was my thought as well. I feel like 30 minutes is crazy though. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll see how much patience I have with it. That's really tasty though. That is just a nice chuck. That's all that is. Chuck that's just been stewed down with mushrooms and red wine and soy sauce. It's really nice. But really, I'm all about the spätzle right now. They did deserve a much more viscous sauce than this though. They deserve better than this. Really good. So good. Yeah. Honestly, the 35-minute point was like kind of the sweet spot for the texture that I wanted. Where it still stays just enough together, you know? That's really tasty. The spätzle really they're just so pleasant. Honestly, they might even be better with like, imagine like a cheese sauce. Doing like a spätzle and cheese. I'm sure people have done that, like millennials have done that to death. I can see it now. But the texture is almost better than that of like a macaroni for me for that. And the texture, like the outside texture, would be just so good at adhering to a sauce. Like they're just already like naturally full of crevices. And they have like this little divot. That's really good. And they got like such a good chew. Like they're not just like soft all the way through. They're really chewy. And I do believe all I needed to do was reduce it a little bit more because it's now starting to get a little bit thick. I've not. No, not at all. It's great. Really good tasty stuff. Ugh. Okay, so overall this experiment was like a fairly good success in understanding how to make the spätzle. I think I'll be better at it next time. I think I really need to make sure all my other ingredients are ready though, and this has to be the last thing I make. Oh, that just sounds lovely. That sounds great. So good. Great. Awesome. Happy to eat that. That was a really good dinner for myself. Everybody though, that is actually going to do it for me this stream. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I had a really good time. Sorry if I seem stressed out today. It's like my first time doing this dish, and I had like 2 things go wrong, and that kind of like set me off a little bit. So thanks for being with me in spite of that and through that. Let's go ahead and find somebody for us to raid. I think that's going to be the move now. Let's just see who's online. I have a shit ton of dishes to do now. Umbra streaming. We'll go ahead and raid her. That's what we'll do. Okay. Everybody, thank you so much. Hope you all had a lovely time. I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you guys Friday, 6 p.m. I have no idea what I'm doing yet. Friday, 6 p.m. Same place, you know where to find me. Thank you for being here. And yeah, see you guys really, really soon. Bye-bye. Oh shit, where's my offline scene? Oh no, it's over. Okay, found it. Goodbye.